Are these hours? This hour on Verbling, the next in my Getting Results in Business series. Let me see if I can get my slide on the board here. Give me just a second. Hopefully you can see that. I don't know if my screen sharing is working. Hopefully you can see. Let me try to do it again. There we go. So hopefully you can see. There we go. Okay, now it's working. So we're going to be completing our unit on how to be on schedule. Even if you weren't in yesterday's class, don't worry. These are conversation classes. You can come and go as you like. But what we're going to be doing is trying to put together everything we've learned so far on project management, time management, those expressions, verb tenses like the present perfect and past simple. We're going to try to put them together into one big activity, which we started yesterday. We've done the brainstorming in our little meeting, our business meeting. Now we're going to try to bring that meeting to other stages. For example, we're going to try to make a plan for our project and allocate tasks to group members. So we're going to have a realistic meeting where we put together all the skills that we've learned so far. That's a bit about the class. Here's a bit about me. I'm John Eric, your Verbling teacher for this hour. I'm an American teacher from New York, hanging out in Lisbon, Portugal to bring you this class. Here are 3 quick rules to help you participate. Don't forget to turn off, tune in, and open up. And that means turn off your microphone when you're not speaking so we can keep the classroom quiet. Tune in to the new words when you are speaking so I can give you feedback and correct you. Finally, open up to your classmates. Relax and have fun. We're all here to learn, and this is a safe and respectful place to practice your English. So that's a bit about me. If you give me just a second, I will put our presentation on screen, and then we will get started. Okay, so you should see it now. Case study. Give me just a second there. I just have to download one app before I begin. I'll be right back. Hold on one second, please. Okay, sorry about that. I had to just download something on my computer, but it's working now. Let's say a quick hello to Jason. How are you today, Jason?
Hello, I'm fine. Yes. And you?
Jason? I'm okay. Where is everyone, Jason? Where are all of our buddies?
I don't know.
Where is Giuseppe? Yuki will be here. Where's Giuseppe? What happened to Carmen? She used to be in all these classes. Is everyone on vacation? Is that what's happening, Jason? I'm getting worried.
Yes, I think people are, yeah,
Because 2 weeks ago I had 9 people in the class and a lot of people viewing, and last week and this week the numbers have been really, really low, so I'm worried. Okay, tell me I don't have to worry. Say, don't worry, teacher. It'll be okay.
Yeah, don't worry.
Okay, thank you. This is what we started yesterday. It says case study. We read, well, first of all, we're going to put together all of our objectives, talking about projects, giving an update, making suggestions about a project, catching up with colleagues, and using the right verb tenses, the past simple and the present perfect. Yesterday we read this background, but I think you weren't here. So let's start there again. Let's just read this because we need something to help us analyze the situation we're going to read about. So it's always good to get a little bit of background. So let's do this again, even if you're watching and you saw yesterday's class. We'll just do this as kind of a review. Let's say a quick hello to Maria, who's just joining us right now. Hello, Maria. How are you? Maria, you were not in yesterday's class, right?
No,
Okay. Where are you from, Maria?
from Spain.
Really? Where in Spain?
From Badajoz.
Badajoz.
Yes, close to
Portugal.
Yes.
Yes. I've been there many times.
Okay. I know you live in Lisbon.
Yeah, but to go to Spain, the first place you have to stop is
Yeah,
Badajoz.
Badajoz. Yes, that's right.
Not too far from Évora.
No, not really.
And so, do you understand Portuguese as well? Do you get lots of
No,
Portuguese people there?
not really. Some things because it's similar from Spanish.
Oh, you don't get lots of Portuguese there because they go across the border?
No, because my town is about 120 kilometers from Badajoz,
Ah, okay.
so it's not really Badajoz.
Okay. Got it. Well, let's do this. We're going to get a little bit of background before we do our role play. Our role play is going to be a business situation, like kind of a meeting. And we've been talking about project management in this class for this is our 10th class and our final class on this topic. So we've been learning how to talk about project management, how to have an informal meeting where you update people. But we need to think about some themes before we look at the situation that we're going to do role play. So let's do this. Jason, you read the first text, and then you continue with the text on the right, Maria. Let's get a little bit of background from Harvey Mylor. This is a senior lecturer in program and project management from the Cranfield School of Management. Okay, can you start us off, Jason?
Yes. So, the expert view, there are two fundamental principles of project planning. Firstly, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. The creation of a plan that represents your best guess of what will happen with a particular project is a vital part of project management.
Wait, vital part.
Vital part
Good.
Of project management. The plan includes the tasks that need to be completed, their sequence, and the resources required for them.
Okay, very good. And Maria, could you continue?
Yes, the military have a saying, a plan never survive first engagement with the enemy, sorry. In the other words, things never work out quite how you expect. This is the second fundamental principle. You must be flexible in order to respond to I don't know how to say inevitable change as you try to execute the plan.
Okay, it sounds good. Inevitable,
Inevitable,
and execute.
execute.
Because the X is like a K in English, like a KS. Execute.
Execute.
All right. So what's the gist here? What's Dr. Harvey Mylor trying to tell us?
The Dr. Harvey talks about the necessity to implement a plan in order to not fail.
In order to, I didn't catch the last part.
In order to not fail the project.
In order to not fire? I'm not sure I understand. What do you mean by fire? When you fire an employee?
File.
File.
File? Fail. Oh, got you. Fail. Yes, yes. In order to not fail. Okay, good. In other words, he discusses the importance of planning. Okay. Anything else? What would you add to that, Maria? Your part is not only about planning, right? He mentioned something else.
Yes. I don't. It says about I think about if the plan doesn't work as you plan,
Right?
you must be flexible to change and things that could be happens.
Okay. So if we were to boil this down to the basic idea, the gist, G-I-S-T, gist, the main idea, gist. The gist is that you have to plan, but you have to balance your plan with flexibility. In
Yes.
other words, when you put the plan into action, you have to be you have to react to reality, not just the plan. On the other hand, you can't just be reactionary and start going without a plan because you will fail, right? Not planning is planning to fail or something like that. Okay. And do you agree or disagree with his general point? I'm talking to everyone. Do you agree, disagree?
I
Would you
agree.
would you add anything to it, or what do you think?
Uh,
No,
yeah,
I am totally agree about what it says. It said.
Okay. One total agreement.
Yeah.
Okay, and Jason?
yeah, I agree. Especially when we talk about flexibility, I think
Right.
yes.
Okay, why is that? What do we need to keep in mind in regard to flexibility in your experience?
Um, for instance, make we have to make some amendment to the plan, and
How about this? We have to change the plan, not amendment, but we have to change the plan.
yeah, we have to change the plan and have some delays. Uh, it might be yeah, it might be possible.
hmm Delays?
Yeah.
Well, could you be more specific? What do you mean by delays? Because
Uh,
what I would say is, well, we have to be. I would say it like this: we have to be open to changing our initial plan, because
Yes.
there may be unexpected things, there may be unexpected occurrences that might arise. Things might come up. Okay, come up means happen without expectation. To come up. So that's how I would explain it. Is that what you mean, Jason, or do you mean specifically that projects get delayed for a particular reason?
uh, I talk in general.
Okay, so maybe delays is okay, but maybe it's more that situations come up all the time. Come up, happen, come up. Rather than saying delays, because I thought you meant something more specific. So things happen. We have to be flexible. Okay, let's keep these two ideas in mind. Planning, but flexibility.
Okay.
Here's a situation we read yesterday. I'm going to read it again as a review really quickly. Just follow along, and then we're going to start our meeting. We are going to be members of this company organizing a roadshow. Yesterday we agreed that a roadshow is a kind of a tour. In this case, a tour to attract investment or to reassure existing investors that we're doing things well. I'm going to read this just because it's a review from yesterday, okay?
Okay.
So, background. Investor relations at Walters Kluwer. Walters Kluwer is a global company based in Amsterdam which provides information products and services for professionals in the health, tax, accounting, corporate, financial services, legal, and education sectors. Good word for your vocabulary. Sectors. Areas. It employs approximately 18,400 people worldwide and has operations across Europe, North America, and Asia Pacific. WK believes it is important to communicate with current and potential investors to provide up-to-date company information and to build a relationship of trust. It does this by issuing regular press releases. publishing quarterly financial results and organizing divisional days, where investors can learn more about the work of one of WK's 5 divisions. It also runs a series of investor roadshows in cities worldwide. At the roadshow, WK representatives give presentations to update potential investors on WK's key activities, financial performance, and future developments. So the roadshow has a pretty specific purpose. Roadshow in general is like a tour, like a circus might do a roadshow, but specifically here, it's to give information to the people who basically own the company, or they don't own it, they're at least heavy investors in the company. Is that clear so far? Just this little review of what we talked about, is that part clear?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, good. If there's no questions then, yesterday we answered these 2 questions. How does a policy of communicating help big companies? And what do you think is involved in the organization of a roadshow? Yuki, you were here yesterday. Do you think you could give us a little summary of some of the ideas, especially for number 2? Do you remember what we discussed about what might be involved in organizing a roadshow from yesterday?
Yes, I remember. In the organization, provide for their investors opportunity to get acquainted with the recent situation of this company.
To get acquainted, was that?
Let's get acquainted.
Acquainted, okay. Yeah, good.
Get acquainted with the current situation of this company by organizing the firstly division days, secondly road shows, and what is involved in organization of investor road show. Yesterday, I learned that in roadshow, investor has opportunity to know a lot about the company by maybe by explanation of by presentation.
Presentations, okay, I agree. There'll be lots of presentations, right?
Yes, presentation. In this presentation, in presentations, update potential. No. Sorry. Financial performance and future developments has been developed, has been declared, has been announced.
Well, or will be presented, will be shown.
Will be shown.
Because we're talking about the future, right? Yeah, okay, I agree. And class as the whole, what about the logistical part of a roadshow? Jason and Maria, you weren't here yesterday, but what do you think? What do you think is involved logistically? Logistically, that means the road part of the show. Yuki talked about the show. What about the road part of the road show? Well, Jason, you know all about logistics, don't you?
Yeah.
You're an expert.
Oh. Yes.
So tell us, because I don't know about it.
Yeah. Okay, I try.
This is what he does for a living. So tell us a bit about it. What do you think is involved?
I think roadshow include to make promotion of the company by using, for instance, a coach, or a big coach with advertising on the coach, and around the. Yeah,
by a coach, you mean like a cross-country bus, that kind of a coach?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, I agree. So probably, like when you have bands that go on tour, sometimes they have a bus and you'll see the name of the band, or like a football club, they have their particular bus. Okay, so that could definitely be part of it. Just getting a visible presence as you travel around. Okay, so that might be a big part of it. That kind of advertising. What are some other logistical things that might be involved? You have to have the road show in a place, right? So what are some things you might have to do to set up when you arrive at a destination? What do you think? A little bit of brainstorming here. What are some things you might have to do once you get to your various destinations?
You have to you have to you have to carry out the distribution of leaflet.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, around the crowd and make the publicity of the company.
Let's call it marketing, not publicity.
Yeah.
Let's say marketing. Publicity is okay, but we tend to use the word marketing in American English. You got to do the marketing, maybe hand out flyers and leaflets. Flyers are the same thing, flyers, leaflets. Okay, and we got to have the presentations that Yuki talked about, so we need a place to do the presentations. So Maria, what do you think we're going to do to enable us to have presentations? Let's say we're going to be in different cities. What do you think we're going to do to enable the presentations? We can't just do it in the coach. So what do you think we ought to do? What might we do?
I don't know.
What do you call the place where you have the presentation? Do you know?
No?
Jason? What do you call the place?
I'd say the meeting place.
The meeting place? Yuki, what would you say?
Venue.
Venue.
Okay.
V-E-N-U-E. Right, so you've got to book a venue. That's
So
one thing.
first of all, we have to they have to book venues for the presentation.
John, can you write venue in the chat, please?
I will try. Hold on.
Okay,
Oh, Yuki already did.
thank you.
Welcome.
Right, so we can book venues. Absolutely, you're going to need to do that. You can't just have the
So
presentations in the
we
bus.
need to book venues for the presentation and arrange refreshments.
Absolutely. So we might hire whom to handle the refreshments and food, Yuki? Who might we hire?
Food is important.
Food is important.
Yes.
Who might we hire to take care of that? We're not going to do it ourselves. So who do we have to contract? What kind of a company? Do you know?
I think cater company.
Exactly. We've got to contract caterers. So we've got to book venues, contract caterers. I'll try to put that in the chat window as well. Any other logistical ideas come to mind?
You mean the other task we have to do?
Yeah.
Before?
Any other tasks come to mind?
I think. Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead, Jason.
We have to call a company for the sound system.
Okay. So in the venue itself, for example, we'd be the ones who are setting up everything. The venue might just be an empty space. So you're saying,
Yeah.
so let's say we have to check out the venue for what? For to see if it's well equipped, maybe.
Yeah.
Well equipped.
I think first of all we have to decide the timetable, prepare the timetable.
Okay.
I mean.
Prepare timetable.
So when the conference or when the presentation or when the when the presentation when the presentation will take place, in what order?
So schedule. Yeah.
Yes, schedule. I mean.
And beyond that, we've got travel arrangements to think about.
Yes,
Because
travel arrangement is also needed. We have to take maybe take care for the tickets for important investors, maybe.
VIPs.
VIP, yes.
Okay. So I put a few more ideas there. Some Yuki said, some he didn't, in the chat window. Prepare the timetable, deal with travel arrangements, and accommodations. Maybe
Okay.
for the VIPs, they need a place to stay. Okay, these are all good ideas.
And also target investor list have to be prepared. So who we will invite to the presentation.
Okay, very good. So it's not going to be just anyone. We're spending a lot of money, so that money has got to go to our key investors, and we have to figure out who they are and figure out who's going to be offended if we don't invite them. It's another key idea.
Yeah.
So here's our task. You are a project team organizing a series of investor roadshows in the Far East. We started this yesterday. We did a bit of brainstorming. But now we're going to go through all 4 stages today. The cities were Shanghai, Hong Kong, Tokyo, Seoul, Singapore. Singapore. It says, oh, I said cities. Okay, sorry. It doesn't say cities. The places. And these are on behalf of the company that Walter Kluwer, in other words, WK. So first, read the roadshow guidelines. We'll review those in a second. Brainstorm for the tasks. Oh, we've already pretty much done the brainstorming, so we can really just have the meeting. But in step 3, we have to make our schedule for the project. That's the timetable that Yuki was mentioning. You have 8 weeks before the roadshow. You have to decide on the time scale for the tasks that we need to do. As a group, we have to figure this out. And last, we need to allocate the tasks to different team members. So we need to have a meeting where we discuss these things. Our guidelines are here. And let me just see. Don't forget, when we have the meeting, our key expressions from the units our key expressions are on page 10 or slide number 10. If you want to cheat, you go there and use these key expressions proactively as we have the meeting. Okay? I might refer to that page again. So our guidelines are prepare a timetable. So these are the things that Walters Kluwer suggests that we do. We're members of this company. Our guidelines are to prepare a timetable, when to visit each city in what order. Jason, continue. Next one.
Prepare the target investor list, including key information on the investor and size of possible investment in company. We recommend 30 investors at each roadshow.
Okay, good. Maria?
Send out invitation to potential investor and keep a record of acceptance and declines.
All right. Acceptances.
Acceptances.
That's it. Acceptances. So it's 4 syllables. Acceptances and declines. Good.
Okay.
Okay, good. And Yuki?
Book venues for the presentations and arrange refreshments.
Okay, very good. Back to Jason.
Arrange travel details for wiki representatives.
For what representatives? For what?
Wiki.
What?
Sorry, it's wiki. For me, it's Wikipedia.
It's not Wikipedia.
Yeah. WK.
Right. WK.
WK representative, flights, car hire, and hotel accommodation.
By the way, in English, it's the second syllable on hotel. Hotel.
Oh, hotel.
Yeah. In French, you'd say hotel, but in English, you say hotel on the second syllable. Hotel accommodation. Say that again.
Hotel accommodation.
That's it. Very good. And Maria, last one?
Print a copy of the presentation and prepare a handout for each participant.
Okay, so in other words, all the whatever your little brochure or whatever you're going to be having to help them with the presentation, the handouts. We call those handouts in general, handouts.
Okay.
Okay, so our brainstorming is pretty similar to the guidelines that they suggest. So let's have our meeting. We've done a bit of brainstorming, but we really need to create the schedule and allocate tasks. If we were having a meeting and I was chairing the meeting, chair, C-H-A-I-R, chair means to run the meeting, the person who organizes it and runs it. I might start by saying something like this. Hi everyone, thanks for coming out today. As you know, we're here to organize our roadshows for WK. We've got several cities to choose from. We've got to figure out which order to go, and we've got to figure out then a schedule where we can meet our deadlines and make sure that our tasks are accomplished in time. We need to work out that schedule, especially today. As you know, this roadshow is in the Far East, covering Shanghai, Hong Kong, Tokyo, Seoul, and Singapore, and we're going to be focusing on those areas. So for today, we're going to try to hammer out a schedule in this meeting, and just keep in mind that we've only got 8 weeks before the first roadshow begins, so we don't have a lot of time. So let's start with some feedback from the group. In the previous meeting, we had decided that our first stop was going to be Singapore, and that if I'm not mistaken, we were going to end up in China at Shanghai, if I remember correctly. So let's start there and see if we still agree that that is a good order for the roadshow to go in. If we agree or if we disagree. So, and Yuki, do you remember why we chose Singapore as the first stop yesterday?
Yes, it is not my opinion, but my classmate advocated that Singapore is important point.
Because
because
what's the big deal?
First of all, it's very busy. There are many population is quite density, and maybe.
So it's a big what? It's a
big city.
Yeah, but a big market for us.
It's a big market for us.
Okay, yeah. So that was his reasoning. We don't have to agree. We can change our plans. He's not here. If he cared, he would have come back. So, and the idea of going to Shanghai was that, or Hong Kong, or one of those places. I think we said Shanghai, was because we want to end on a high note. So we want to go to another, high population, big market, and end with a bang, so to speak. So that was our idea yesterday. So now here we are. We're the board of directors. We're having our meeting, or we're the project managers. Do we still agree that that's the right direction for our roadshow?
I agree.
Yeah, Jason and Maria, give me some feedback.
Yeah, I agree for Singapore, but after Singapore, I think the closest city is it might be Hong Kong instead of Shanghai. So if we choose Hong Kong, the ticket cost, the fare, would be less important than the fare for Shanghai.
Mm-hmm. Less important?
Less expensive.
Less expensive, right. Okay, so Saeed, by the way, you're welcome to come to class. Just click the join button and you can join us. Plenty of room. So Jason, you're talking about the fares. I agree, that's a good idea. So if we keep in mind the cost, the logistical cost, it might make more sense to go to Hong Kong. So Hong Kong, Shanghai, and then what? Then we end where? We end in Tokyo or we end in Seoul?
I think Shanghai is in the same country of Hong Kong, so it would be more logic to go in Shanghai and after
More logical.
logical to stay in the same country than to go in other country and after to come back in.
Okay. All right. And then what do you think makes more sense, um, fellow project managers? What do you think makes more sense? Going from Hong Kong to Japan or going from Hong Kong to Korea? Because it seems like Korea is really out of the way.
Uh,
I have to look at the map. I don't know. It seems like Korea is kind of in the wrong direction. What do you think?
I think after Hong Kong we have to go to Shanghai, and after Shanghai, you have to choose.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Shanghai is in the north of.
I think it would be quite logical to begin from South City,
Yeah.
from south to north. So
Okay.
we can begin our presentation in Singapore,
Right.
and after that, and then in Shanghai, Hong Kong, Seoul, and Tokyo is the last city. Will take presentation. Will make presentation to our.
The last city where we'll do our presentation.
It will be the last city where we will provide. We will give a presentation.
Maria, what do you think about that? Do you agree?
Yeah, I quite agree with Jason because I think it's the best way to organize a roadshow. It's a good way. I don't know a lot of about those cities. It's quite a long way from Spain, and I
Right.
don't know exactly the map. But I think Jackson way is okay to make the road.
So Jason and Yuki, do you have the same idea, or I didn't quite understand? I understand your trajectory, Yuki, but Jason, is that the same as what you were saying?
Yeah, it's the same.
Oh, it's the same. Okay. Okay, so I think we have our trajectory set, our path. I think we've got that set. Now we've got to figure out a schedule. Okay? We know where we're going, but we've only got 8 weeks. It might be a good idea to work out our tasks first and then put them on the calendar. Okay? So let's decide what needs to be done first, and then we'll decide when to do it. Okay? So Jason, you mentioned fares, so we have to book flights. Sounds like we're gonna have to be booking flights for the staff and for our, I'm going to call them VIPs, for our investors, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's something that comes to mind. That's something that I would bring up. What other tasks do you think we need to do? This is for the whole class now. So
First of all, I think we should make clear who we will invite to the presentation. So we need to prepare the target investor list, and after that we have to prepare the timetable.
okay. Well, let's talk about the target investor list then. Okay, because that's a good idea. Who do you think our target investors ought to be? We can only have 30 per roadshow according to our guidelines. So who do you think is going to make the list here? Think about the kind of company we are. What do we do as a company? What's our core activity?
WK provide the service in the matter of education, legal,
Yeah.
and sports maybe.
So yeah, It was there was a whole list there. You mentioned most of it.
Yeah.
Products and services to
I think we
perfect.
have to give priority to big investor, VIP, firstly. So they have to be the top of the list. After that, we have to select the investors who has more potential for our company, the future business.
And sorry, Maria, I think you were speaking too. I couldn't hear you.
No, I said the health, accounting, and
Oh, for the services, you mean?
yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, let's if we don't know the exact investors, then we need to turn it into a task. Um, so, do we need to research the investors? Would that be a good first step? And if so, how are we going to divide this task up between the three of us? Or do we need to get more staff on board?
I think there is no need to research the investors. We already know who is the most important investors, who is VIP, and of course we have to select investors who has now not so big investor, but who has a big potential for our company. So, but
So
there
we
is
want
no
to
need to research.
research the mid-level investor who could, in other words, we're not concerned about the high-level investor who's already with us. We're trying to gain new investors. That's your
Yes, I
idea.
see. I see.
Okay, I see. Okay, that's a good strategy. So we're going to go for inviting maybe new or mid-level investors, people that we want to win over, rather than the ones we already have. So we're going to be inviting new people, it sounds like. That sounds like a good strategy. It sounds a little different. Was someone speaking? Sorry.
Yes.
What you say? We have to invite some new investor.
Teacher is saying about the potential investors, little investor, but they would be the important in the future. How
Yeah,
to select them?
I said mid-level rather than, in other words, maybe not the top investors per se, because we have our top investors. But maybe my idea was, what if we expand to mid-level investors, people that we have to win over? In other words, people that perhaps are not on our investor list now, and they might not be top donors or top investors, but ones that we can win over because we can have a broader investor base that way, rather than spending lots of money on people that we already have. So rather than invite Bill Gates, we can do something else for Bill Gates. But what if we go for smaller investors to expand our base? What do you think about that, project managers?
I think to win over small mid-level investor,
Right.
the good idea is to rent a coach to to go across the country with advertising on the coach, and in this way it will be the best way to promote the company, because like you said, the investor yes, it's necessary to do that for this kind of investor.
Okay, so it's a kind of high visibility approach to advertising. In other words, very direct on the street. So maybe that means in our roadshow that we have at least some space to invite new people. If we do it that way, we're going to be maybe getting people in off the street as well. I think that's a good idea. I mean, it's a bit risky, but I think it's a good idea. What do we think?
I also think it's a good idea. How about asking directly to middle scale investors,
Mid-level.
middle level investors by email.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Someone wouldn't answer, but someone will be answered with very, very how to active, no, active, not active. How to say? Very.
Well, you say it, and I'll correct you after.
Maybe someone give an answer to us, very active answer.
Like
I think
an immediate response, you mean?
yes, someone would respond in active way. So we should give priority to young investor who has a big interest in our company.
Okay, that's a good idea as well. So it sounds like, and Maria, let's get your feedback on this. It sounds like we're going to have not just a list of attendees and VIPs, but we're going to have some space for people to come in off the street. But we're going to get a sense. This is what you're saying, Yuki, if I understood correctly. We're going to get a sense of those extra places by doing a direct emailing campaign, and we'll get if we target the right demographic, young professionals, maybe with people we're targeting with that have not made our list, but that could, they have the right tax bracket or whatever. We'll get a sense of who's going to be coming to the show. They could even RSVP. So that's what I understood so far from our discussion of the tasks. Maria, would you add anything to that? What happened to Maria? The moment I ask her a question, she disappears. I think she's having some connection problems because she keeps dropping in and out.
I think we should give priority to young investors who has interest in our company more, even if they have currently they have little stocks of our company.
Okay, so even if they're not major investors, I agree. I personally think it's a great strategy. Okay, we've got to work on our time scale with these tasks, and we've got to allocate them to different groups. Okay, so what do you think? Let's start on the last section here, allocating tasks. Jason, what do you think you and your team would handle best, since you're more familiar with logistics?
I think I would choose the part one, which is booking flights for staff and VIP.
Okay. And what about the venues themselves?
Yeah, I can also handle this task, because it's part of logistic also, advanced logistic.
Okay. And what kind of accommodations do you think you'll be looking for the staff and for our VIPs?
I think I think everybody should be in the same hotel. But for the VIP, I think it would be normal, and it would be normal to.
I think we have to prepare suite room of first class hotel for our VIP.
And what about our staff? Do they get a suite?
Staff is I think it's enough to stay in cheap hotel.
Really?
Cheap hostel. Yes.
Oh my God. What do you think about that, Jason? So we put the staff, excuse me, we put the staff in a motor inn, or we let them sleep on the street, and the VIPs get a suite in the plaza, in a first-class hotel. Is that okay with you, Jason?
Yeah, it's Okay. But
Okay.
Yeah.
Really?
yeah, I consider myself like a VIP, so it's
Oh, I
yeah.
see. Well, I'm sorry, Jason. You're not a
You are
VIP.
one of our staffs. Are you okay in staying in the street?
We're gonna sleep
No.
on the street.
Sleep on the street?
We're gonna make a fire. We're gonna toast hot dogs and marshmallows. That's what we're gonna do. Well, if
Of course, we'll prepare a sleep bag for you.
No.
Is it okay?
For me? No, me, I stay in hotel.
Oh, you are special. I can't hear you, John. Oh. Jason, are you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Maybe our teacher has problem.
I don't know where is he.
Sorry?
I don't know where is he. Where he is.
Could you repeat again? I'm sorry.
I don't know if he will come back.
You don't know. I think he'll come. He will come back.
Because I see on the chat.
Yes, I also see the chat. He wrote hello. Yeah. Yes, recently he has some problems in his computer, maybe. I don't know. What there is problem in Google Hangout? Are you okay? You don't have any problem with the internet?
No.
No?
Really?
That's good. Oh, teacher, come back.
Yeah.
Is it hot now, Jason? There.
Yeah.
Yeah? What is the temperature now?
25.
25?
Yeah.
Oh, it's quite hot, but not so.
It could be more. It could be hotter than now. It could be hotter.
Than Moscow? Yeah?
Yes.
Yes, I think so. But Moscow is recently quite hot. I think today over 20 degrees. So now it is hot season.
Okay, can you see the presentation?
Are you okay, John?
I don't know.
Who know if you don't know? Okay.
But the thing is that I have nothing open on my computer. I think it's Chrome. I don't know
What's the problem? Problem with your browser?
I don't know. Verbling cannot find anything wrong with my system, and my connection speed is good, and I use other platforms at other schools with no problem, like Blackboard and things like that. I have no idea. I don't know. It just everything Chrome is just freezes. I don't know. And I try to use Firefox, and it doesn't even let me load the Hangout. I can't even open the I can open the Hangout, but I can't download the Verbling app in Firefox. So I can't use Firefox. So
You have a lot of extensions in Chrome, don't you?
no, I just have ad block and a password manager, and that's it. Pretty much. It's not a lot.
Too much extensions would be a big burden on the computer. So it's
Yeah, I don't know,
better to
but I don't know.
take out.
But I think I just have two extensions. I think I just have these two.
Okay.
But unless I take off ad block, but I don't really want to take that off. Anyway, so we left off with Jason taking care of the logistics. Yuki, which aspect of this project do you think you would be best to handle if Jason is going to handle the logistics? So
Yes.
go ahead. What do you think would be best?
He's excellent worker, I know. So I completely we can rely on him. But I have I have a little worried about the booking venues.
Okay.
No, it's not his job. No, I don't know. And arranging refreshments.
Right. We've got to take care of the
Yes.
catering. Can you handle the catering for us?
How the catering coming along, Jason?
I don't think Jason's doing the catering. I think
It is not his task, maybe.
I think it's your task.
It's my task.
Yeah.
I didn't. I haven't arranged yet.
Okay.
But we will prepare as soon as possible. Of course. I'm sorry.
What do you think is involved in the catering? What kinds of things do you need to do to enable the catering to go smoothly?
We have to find a company, a good company for catering, and make a contract with them, and make and we also should make clear how the quantity of foods and drinks.
And find a menu too that we
Of
agree on.
course, menu. Yes, quality of menu is very important. We have to decide what menu, what kind of food we would serve for our guests.
Okay, sounds good. So we're clarifying the amount of guests. We're clarifying the type of menu. Usually the catering company will have suggestions, of course, but it's usually up to the client to actually give them the general idea. So I would suggest, tell me if you agree, I would suggest that we can have our normal menu, whatever it's going to be, a luncheon or something like that. But we need to have an option as well. So if we do something with meat, we need to have a vegetarian option. I guess it's going to be meat or fish, I suppose. Then we need to have some vegetarian option at the end. And we need to figure out about alcohol as well, whether or not we're serving it. Alcohol is expensive, so we need to figure out if we're having that kind of a bar or something like that.
That's
So
a good idea. It would be nice if it would be variety of selection for our guests. But how about preparing a special menu for the events? How do you think about it, Jason?
I would say the fact to get some food, I think is maybe too complicated because everybody has their favorite dishes. So some people don't eat meat, don't eat meat, don't eat some kind of meat. So it would be easier, easier,
easier.
easier to get some some beverage. And
Really? Really? You think it's better not to even have caterers? Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
How to prepare the food
It's a
without
radical suggestion. Okay.
without cater?
Well,
We have
he's saying forget the food. He's saying it's not worth it. Just have beverages and everything else.
Yeah, because when you eat some food, it might be it might not it might be not comfortable for the guests who don't know each other. It
Okay.
prefer it best it could be better to get to know each other by drinking some
you are
Vodka.
saying without eating, just drinking
yeah yeah just drinking.
to better communication with our customers, yeah,
Why
Yes,
not?
investors.
Well, we could have light hors d'oeuvres. We could have like light food, and that can be prepared like so maybe things that don't really need to be prepared, like like we have a bar. We can greet guests as they come in with a glass of champagne or something, but have people walking around with trays of hors d'oeuvres so that they're not drinking on an empty stomach. So that way we don't have to have really a caterer per se. We just need to have a few servers, and people can have food if they want it, but just be very light.
yeah.
Okay, that might be a good idea. It would certainly make things easier in the roadshow. Certainly.
Why? Why don't we prepare every kind of alcohol drinks from all over the world?
Wow.
But
Yeah, but it may cost a lot of money. It might be expensive to do that.
Why don't we forget the presentations and just meet at bars across Asia? Let's just go from bar to bar, from Singapore to Shanghai, and forget about the presentations. Forget about the roadshow. In fact, forget about the investors. Let's just go get drunk. Okay?
okay.
No, I know. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Well, listen.
As Jason said, maybe it's a good idea. I think it costs a bit. It's costly, but our to say the truth, our the condition of our company is not good now. We are about to corruption now. We are about to
Corruption?
not we are about to um, falling down.
Oh, collapse.
Collapse.
Collapse. Oh, I see.
So financial our financial situation of our company is not good. So it is a good idea to make our investors drink much in the presentation and make them confused in deciding.
That way they don't have to pay attention to the facts and figures. It could be a plan. Well, listen, we're going to have to hold that thought for a moment here. We're a bit out of time, so I'm going to begin the next unit, but I'd like to come back to our roadshow a little bit later, either tomorrow or in one of the classes, just to see how we're doing later on. Let's say that 4 weeks have passed. So we're going to come back to it, and I'll give you. We're going to try to update each other, thinking about some of those key expressions, about getting an update and making suggestions. Okay? So we'll revisit this a little bit later, but in tomorrow's class, we're actually going to begin a new unit. So probably, if not tomorrow, maybe the day after. We'll come back to a roadshow check-in and see how things are going. So keep in mind some of the things we've talked about, handling the catering, the logistics. Keep in mind what could go wrong, and we'll see if we can give a little update later in the week and see how it's going. So tomorrow, speaking skills at 10 GMT, and a brand new unit. I don't even know what it's going to be. I have to take a look. A brand new unit on getting results in business. By the way, what vocabulary was important for you in giving an update today, and what vocabulary was new for you in talking about this project? Did anything new come up in the class? For example, the word venue. Some of you didn't know venue, so maybe that's a good word.
Me, I didn't know the word win over, the idioms. The first time I saw it.
Which word? Say again.
Win over.
Oh, win over. Okay, right. To win over means basically to convince.
Mid-level investors
Mid-level.
is new for me.
Okay. And what else? Anything else? I'm trying to see if anything. The other things you probably knew: booking flights, booking venues, booking accommodations.
Target investors.
Target, yeah. Target or target investor. It was good. And there was another one I saw too. What was it? High visibility advertising. A way to describe the advertising that Jason was talking about. High visibility about the coach, and even a kind of word of mouth. It's not exactly word of mouth, but something like it. It means not using media, but using people on the street seeing something. It's almost a kind of word of mouth. Okay, so we've got some good vocabulary there as well. All right, I've got to go because I'm 4 minutes late for my next class. They're going to kill me. So I'll be back tomorrow at 10 GMT for speaking skills, and I'll see you at 11 for the next Getting Results in Business. Bye for now, everyone. Talk to you soon.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye-bye.